Both Brandon Aiyuk and Amari Cooper are holding out of training camp per multiple sources. We'll find out how accurate much of this is, but again, we're waiting Schefter, Rappaport, some more solid sources to come down, news wires on this, but there have been several reports that have kind of leaned in this direction anyway, walking to this point. So let's definitely be on the lookout for more news to confirm this and cement this in, but it does feel very much like both Amari Cooper and Brandon Aiyuk will be holding out, at least initially, trying to get new contracts. So get ready for more to brew on that. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So, I don't know what this means for Brandon Aiyuk or Amari Cooper in terms of, is there leverage here at all for these guys? The answer is there is, but is it to the tune of it's going to force a trade? It's going to be the sticking point in these situations? No, but both these teams want to prepare the best they can for the upcoming season. So when someone says something like Aiyuk or Cooper don't have any leverage at all, this is absolutely crazy. What are they doing? They can't force a trade. Tyreek Hill forced a trade. A lot of players force a trade. When a disgruntled player doesn't want to be somewhere, it creates a bad buzz and vibe. And sometimes locker rooms and teams and owners don't want the negativity there, the poison infecting the well, the negative, toxic environment that can drag down a team. Trying to plan for the future and realizing that if Aiyuk's not there and Ricky Pearsall steps up into a role he was drafted for. First round pick for this wide receiver, Ricky Pearsall. And he's a damn good wide receiver. If he steps into Aiyuk's role while Aiyuk plays games, and that's the way the Niners are looking at this, then they're going to lose trade value because he won't be as valuable. Because what are you going to do? Take Ricky Pearsall out of a very complex role that he's getting accustomed to? I'm not saying that Ricky Pearsall puts Aiyuk on the bench. I'm merely saying that there is a problem of trade value later if you're starting to move your future prospect into his role early because this guy isn't around. So there's definitely some leverage here. It's just, is it what people think it is? Is it what people want it to be? Do people want him to have more leverage? He wants out. He wants out. He wants to be paid. The Niners clearly are not going to pay him what he feels he's worth. He's also got people in his ear saying, Smitty, he's gonna be able to hit the bigger contract next year, sleepwalking into $31 million. That's what he's being told. He's sitting here going, guys, I'm sitting out. I'm sitting out now, but I'll come back and play my fifth-year option. But I'm banking on myself because guess what? I'm getting $31 million no matter what next offseason as the wide receiver market continues to explode and get bigger and bigger. He's probably looking at the Niners offering him $70 million guaranteed, $68 to $74 million guaranteed, something like that. And he probably wants 80. Probably wants 78, 80. And right now doesn't seem feasible if he has a good year, which is part of the problem here for Aiyuk. Because if the Niners start to move on a little bit, even a little bit to their first round drafted wide receiver, Ricky Pearsall, Aiyuk might not have the volume to do what he needs to get the big contract. And that's the rub. That's where the Niners say, hey, we might as well trade him and get something because we're stepping on our own feet. So it's complicated. There's no leverage here. It's complicated. This is why players get traded. They create a big enough stink. They want out. He expresses his desire and he says, look, I want to go play with my best friend JD5. The odds of a trade are still very, very high. The odds of a fifth-year option play is still very high. The odds of a new contract, I wouldn't call them high, but they're probably still in the 20% range, which is still a pretty significant number. The kind of number that, we won't be surprised if he gets a new contract. But I think that's dwindling. In the moment CeeDee Lamb or Chase signs, then boom. Boom. As far as Amari Cooper, look, Ziggy, how old is Amari Cooper?
Amari Cooper is 30 years old.
30 years old.
Born on June 17th,
30 years old. 30-year-old wide receiver. Not saying that to insinuate that he can't have one more good year. I'm not saying that. Okay? Cooper Kupp, 30 last year, 31 this year. Davante Adams, 31, turning 32 in December. Not saying 1 year or even a year and a half or maybe even 2 years is left in the cards here for Amari Cooper. It certainly is possible. Not for sure, but possible. But the problem is he's not going to be able to partake in the wide receiver cash money run that's happening right now. These wide receivers are headed to the bank with stacks to the rafters. And he probably, because, I don't know, he thinks he's young. He probably thinks he can get in on this. And maybe the Browns are dumb enough to do it. All I know is that the Browns have the worst contract in the NFL, sending Deshaun Watson to the bank every single year, guaranteed for the remainder of his contract. $49 million, $49 million, $49 million. They can't get away from this contract. The Browns are stuck no matter what. And every year, he's going to look good. Watson's going to come around. Sounds like this is going to be the year. Good luck with that. You sure about that? You sure about that? Amari Cooper is not supposed to get what these other guys are getting, and maybe he's not blind to that entirely. Maybe he knows he's not getting St. Brown money or this young buck money. I mean, I think he probably knows that. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But he does certainly feel he can get something special. And I don't know that I'd pay it. I mean, you don't need to. If he's got 1, maybe 2 years left, why in the hell am I going to give him more money when he's under contract? Doesn't make any sense, does it? No. The answer is no. I'll answer it for you. We got 5 gifted memberships by Deckard coming in strong. Deckard to the mother freaking moon. We also have a super chat here from Deckard. $10 holler gets another moonshot.
To the moon.
My main man. Main Deckard dropping it like it's hot. Shout out to all my Patreon homies. Yo, Smitty, send my boy Arrogance to the moon. We'll send him to the moon as well.
To the moon.
There you go. Doing it live, Deckard. Appreciate you dropping all of that wattage. Ron Navy also dropped, I think, 10 gifted memberships on the way out the door.
To the moon.
And I missed it. I apologize for that, Ron. Ron, thank you for the super chat and the gifted memberships last show earlier today. What's going to happen with Amari Cooper? He's 30 years old. Are the Browns dumb enough to pay this man on a 3 or 4 year extension? Are they? I know, again, Amari, I'd probably be the same way. I'm not trying to rip too much on Amari, but Amari, Austin Eckler, these guys think they're going to play like, 5, 10 more years probably, because that's just the nature of a human being. Like Barkley the other day saying to the New York Jet brass, who do you think you are? You think you know who I am? Who are you to tell me how long I can play? And he's right, and damn straight. I do it too, but the harsh reality, though, is that Barkley's got 2 years left if he's lucky, and that's a long time. That's still a long time. We're fine with that, right? 2 years, even in Dynasty, 2 years is a long time. People need to stop chasing second place. Stop trying to go get 22, 23-year-old players all the time and throw away 25, 26-year-old guys. Stop trying to act like you can't win for 2 years and develop around it. You keep chasing that youth movement on your roster and you don't take advantage of some win now potential, you're going to always be chasing second place. 2 years is a long time. Saquon Barkley's going to ball for 2 years. In that, though, Saquon, put your earmuffs on. Saquon can't be coming in next year and be going, give me 3 or 4 years of that cash money. Just like Amari Cooper, if he does have 1, maybe 2 more years, can't march in when he's under contract for one of them and say, give me this cash money, baby. I'm watching these guys get the old Christian Kirk money times 2. I want some of that. Give me some of that St. Brown money. Give me some of that Waddle guaranteed money. A.J. Brown, $84 million guaranteed. I want some of this cash money. You're 30 years old, Amari. I don't know what leverage you think you have. One of these players is not the same. One of these players is not the same. This man right here is a young kid that can kind of have a little bit more of a stance here on, hey, I'm holding out. I'm young. Pay me money. This guy is like, hey, where's my walker? And yeah, let's give me the same cash money everybody else is getting. Two very different arguments. Amari doesn't have as much of a leg to stand on. Aiyuk he has a bigger leg to stand on. But unfortunately, the team he's trying to make that stand against doesn't really play a lot of games. And at the end of the day, they don't want to trade away an asset that can help them win a Super Bowl if the offer isn't too good to, if it's got to be too good to pass up. It's got to be an offer they can't refuse. Okay? Once they pull them out, they got to throw them back in. Type of thing. Aiyuk ain't going anywhere unless somebody overpays. Who would be that team? The Washington Commanders, where JD5's texting, Snapchatting, tweeting, sending all kinds of Telegram messages, might even write an actual letter. He might even walk into the front office and say, look, I've been talking to CJ Stroud. He got Tank Dell. I've been talking to Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow as he's smoking cigars and lighting them up. He's telling me about how he convinced his team to go get Jamar Chase. A.J. Brown gets to go play with Jalen Hurts. You got Bo Nix saying, get me Franklin. This is becoming par for the course. If you're not handpicking your wide receiver like Stroud handpicked Tank Dell because they became video game buddies at the Combine, and what a rapport they have. If this isn't how it works now in today's NFL, I don't know what works. I don't know what is the situation then. Because the situation to me is, what does your quarterback need? What does your quarterback want? Aaron Rodgers wants Davante Adams. Give it to him.
Mashed potatoes.
I might regret that statement if Garrett Wilson ends up taking a big hit, but I'm excited for the drama. It's a train wreck, and I want to see it happen. I don't know if I'm going to like the result. I don't know if later I'm going to wish that train didn't crash into the New York Jets situation. But well, it is what it is. It sounds fun. It sounds exciting. Why don't we do it? Why don't we save Davante Adams? Not to mention, I don't know that Davante Adams is going to take Garrett Wilson's volume away all that much. Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers have got an amazing rapport, and while Davante Adams is this guy, keep in mind he's like, bring Cobb over. Cobb didn't do anything. Like, I'm not saying that Adams is Cobb and Cobb is Adams and Finkel is Einhorn and Einhorn is Finkel. I'm merely telling you that we're assuming Adams is, just because he was good at the end of the year, some of this wasn't his decline at 31 years old. Cooper Kupp is 30 years old last year. He busts on everybody. He comes in at 31. And now you have a group of people, a significant portion and percentage of the fantasy football population that's saying, I don't think I believe in Cooper Kupp anymore. And he was 30 last year, and everybody said he got trashed. He's cooked. He's done. So, I mean, Adams at 31, turning 32, let's not pretend like Adams is just going to take away from Garrett Wilson no matter what. I'm not going to be scared about this potential what-if scenario with Adams. I'm not moving Garrett Wilson down all that much. Would I move him one spot, two spots? Would I take MHJ over him a little bit more? Would I take maybe Drake London over him maybe a little bit more? Am I taking Kyren Williams in a non-best ball over him? Or Achane in a non-best ball over him? Probably. Decker with another 5 gifted memberships. Decker.
To the moon.
What are we doing here, Decker?
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, buddy.
What are we doing, Decker?
Let him cook.
Your boy's down 21 pounds ever since the Achane video or photo was released. I'm barely out of breath. That's how good a shape I'm getting in. After that little number, you'd think I'd be panting like a dog. But no, because this man, Devon Achane, motivated me on a nice little Friday afternoon, Thursday, Tuesday, whatever it was. Achane came swinging into the live chat with this photo right here, where he gained about 10 mother freaking pounds. And I said to myself, what am I doing with my life? I look like I'm wearing a meat suit. I look on camera and it looks like I'm wearing a meat suit. I don't recognize myself. I feel like it's a mask. And I said, you know, when I do my standing ovation, there's this man I don't recognize right there. And I said, I'm doing something about it. If Achane's doing something about it, I'm doing something about it. And that's when I decided to cook.
Let him cook.
Five more gifted memberships for the man.
To the moon.
Thank you for dropping that, Decker. Decker to the mother freaking moon. Phone lines are open, guys. What do we think of Amari? Are we worried enough that we're not drafting him now? Or is his ADP decent enough to where this isn't a problem? What are we doing with Brandon Aiyuk? Is he a second rounder in best ball? Hell no. It is the discrepancy between his best ball ADP and his non-best ball ADP is very, very telling, because you see Aiyuk at 28 overall in non-best ball. This is fresh data. It can all be found at thefantasyfootballshow.com. And on my ADP page, I have these two exact ADPs side by side on the same page. I have the non-best ball, which is an average between CBS, ESPN, and Yahoo. You can't get something better than this. It'll be updated constantly. You can't get anything more accurate than using three grandma industry ADPs and averaging them together. Brandon Aiyuk's 28. Fresh data. Then over on the best ball side, pulled the data today. It'll also be updated on the fantasyfootballshow.com consistently. We got Brandon Aiyuk going at 21 in best ball. Second round, deep into the second round, or are we talking about mid-third? Big difference. And it's because of all the best ball garbage content that's constantly telling you. I don't mind people that promote the best player available, but when somebody says you got to draft 5 wide receivers in a row, I don't know what in the hell world you live in, pal.
You've just been Smitty. Your Bijan card has been revoked. Get lamb. Wrong. Your Bijan card has been revoked.
So, Deckard, thank you. I don't even know how many that is, Deckard. If you've done it again, I'll give you another one. I can't even keep track of Deckard's 5 gifted membership program he's got going out. Deckard's doing wonders today. Aiyuk, Cooper, dial into the phone line. Let's figure out what you're doing. And we're talking a lot of non-best ball and best ball moving forward. I don't know if you noticed, but that's coming out of my mouth almost every time I speak. Because I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of just talking best ball, because that's not what this channel was even founded on. I love best ball. We're going to continue to smash best ball content. I'm just telling you, I'm doing both at the same time. We're chewing gum and walking and running and blowing bubbles all at the same time on this channel. We don't need to slow down for anybody. And so if I have to give 2 different variants every time I speak, I'll do so, because we need to make sure the non-best ball and best ball content is out there for the taking. And because the discrepancy between the ADPs is getting so vastly different, not something that was as the case last year, but it's getting worse every day. And the fact that everybody's shoving so many wide receivers into the best ball top 30, and it's reckless. It's borrowing, stealing wide receivers from rounds 3 and 4 and shoving them into round 2. Right up the rear end of round 2. Just shoving receivers right up in there. And it's the reckless behavior of wide receiver drafting that's causing a discrepancy that makes best ball content and non-best ball content two very different things. They're no longer parallel worlds. Okay, so we're going to continue to hit on both in a different format on the same show, in the same breath, comma, non-best ball. Best ball, comma, non-best ball. I'm going to continue to hit it that way going forward because there's no other option, and you need to get both pieces of both worlds in order to succeed, and they're so vastly different, I can't do one thing anymore. I've got to do both. We're doing two things at the same time. So smash the phone line.
Call into the show.
Brought to you by the Addict.shop. Best ball season will soon settle and be non-existent. Not really, Chris, because even though it's daily fantasy to an extent, in some ways, like we're hitting the weekly best ball drafts. So no, best ball is gonna be the entirety of the season. Every week at midnight, almost every midnight, we're drafting a week 1 best ball draft, a week 2 best ball draft. You know what I'm saying? So no, Chris, it's not stopping. The pre-best ball stuff, sure. Dial into the show. Appreciate you all. Let's do it live. Phone lines are open. Thank you all for the super chats. We got another one from Arrogance. Arrogance, $10 holler. Arrogance wants a moonshot. To the moon. This man wants to live on the moon is the sense I'm getting. If he's not careful, he might get a Saturn shot. Maybe Saturn shots start getting handed out at certain dollar amounts. I don't know. But Arrogance is looking for a Saturn shot, I think. $10 holler. Shout out to Deckard, the Dynasty squad, and the Patreon. What a draft so far. Straight to the moon. Smitty, you're the greatest in the game. Don't change for nobody. Don't worry, Arrogance. I won't change for nobody, pal. Appreciate you. Thank you, pal. Thank you. Chan. Can I just say something real quick? You know, we go off on a lot of tirades about Kyren Williams and how I see you all, you Kyren doubters. We're coming up with a Kyren card. We're taking Kyren cards until we have a Kyren card to take away. We're taking Bijan cards.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
You doubt Kyren Williams on any level on this channel.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
And then when I get Kyren cards, I'm taking them away too.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
But we're on a tirade consistently on Kyren Williams, as we should be, right? As we should be.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
However, this man right here, this monster right here, this 10-pound heavier beast right here, he can't stay healthy, Smitty, absolute monster, is going to win leagues in 2024. And every time I do a Kyren Williams tirade, I feel like the two children. One gets a present, the other one gets a present. You buy one a gaming chair, you got to get the other one a pony. You know, you can't just have one and not the other. It's not fair. It's not fair to Achan. Achan deserves a little pep talk too. A little hype train moment as well. This is a man that is the number 1 running back in NFL history in yards per carry at 7.8 yards a pop. And the fact that people think he isn't a smash in round 2 makes me feel ashamed of myself. Because I feel like I haven't done my job if even one person, let alone 2 or 3 people in here, still doubt Devon Achan. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
Ray G dropping another 10 watt on the screen. The 10 wads keep coming.
To the moon.
And Ray G, you are my boy, Blue. Ray G says, Bijan, Achan, Benson are my preferred law firm.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Let him cook.
Rest of the show, any $20 holler, your boy's getting in a pump. No doubt about it. Every $20 like collected. If it's two $10, $20, get in a pump. I got to get these arms cooking anyway, and we've been losing the LBs. We need to get the monsters going. John, appreciate your super chat as well. John, $10 holler. What are you complaining about today? Smitty, will you ever show best ball drafts where you do them without us? Yes. The reaching in our drafts is not realistic. It would be cool to see you deploy. Absolutely, we'll be doing more of that, especially as we get into August. And this will piss some people off, but what I'll probably do is come into the stream in a draft, and then we'll do another draft after. Or we'll at least drop a slow draft, and I'll put it on the screen as we discuss everything. But, I definitely mentioned this quite a bit. We got another 5 gifted memberships from, who is that from? Ray G. Ray G, thanks again. Appreciate you. John, thank you for the $10 holler. Moonshot for John.
To the moon.
Moonshot for John. Appreciate you. We've got Travis coming in. Travis Snow with a $2 holler. And he says, yo, Smitty, you're so bald, kind of like Mr. Clean. Well, I appreciate you, Travis, but there is scruff on top of my head. If you mean I shaved my head, you are correct. You were correct, Travis. Appreciate you. Appreciate you anyway. I appreciate you trying to keep this man down, but I'm cooking. You got nothing on me, Travis. You're super chatting me. You're super chatting me a compliment, pal.
Let him cook.
There you go. Ray G, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Brucey's calling in. Phone lines are still open. Dial in. John, thanks for the super chat, pal. Appreciate you. Yeah, that was a great way to spend $2. That was his Taco Bell for tomorrow. Hey, Mr. Clean. Oh, okay. I will say, the temples recede. The hair doesn't grow as strong as it used to. I look better with a shaved head. But you want to throw $2 at me anytime you want, go ahead, Travis. I'm here for it. Doesn't offend me at all. It's like calling a tall man short. What's going on there, Brucey?
I got a funny story for you.
Hit me with it.
I was I was at my barber shop with the 2 guys that play in my league, and they were sitting there, and they were saying how Kyren's gonna suck this year, and he's not worth his value.
Did you tell them to give me a call and let me explain them, so they could get me a coffee?
No.
So they could get me a coffee
Yeah,
like Travis Snow?
I didn't tell him nothing. I'm gonna let him keep saying it and let him fall. And I'm like, okay. I'm just thinking of what you would say. Say nothing.
Yeah. Well, people are we need enough people, bro. We need enough people to doubt Kyren, to doubt Achane. Otherwise, what do we have? We have a player that everybody loves. We have a top 12 overall player. The truth is, and somebody can say no to this, and I hope they do. I hope there's 4, 5, 6 people right now in the chat, even the live chat, that's like, no way, it can't happen, Smitty. Kyren should be being drafted, understand we're not, should be drafted in the top 5. Kyren should be drafted in the top 5. He's not, that's good. Non-best ball, I just showed you guys. This is what you need to be taking advantage in terms of Kyren Williams' ADP. He's going in non-best ball in a very much more appropriate territory, 15 overall. Kyren is going down at number mother freaking, where's he at? I think it was like 29. 29 in best ball. So you're smashing the hell out of that, and you're still smashing the hell out of 15. Kyren deserves to be a top 5 pick. People just don't understand what's going on. They just don't understand what's going on. At the end of the day, though, that's good for us, okay? And so, same thing with Achan. Absolutely love it.
And I got another question.
What's up, Silver?
No, this one's pretty. Yeah. You have to rep your own show. Am I allowed to rep Smitty?
Are you allowed to rep me? What's that mean?
Like you have to say, this is who my guy is. This is who I go to. They do it with all their people.
Oh.
And I'm like,
yeah, rep me, bro.
I have to
tell people where you're from. Say I'm from the Fantasy Football Show, pal. I'm from the Fantasy Football Show where we do it live.
Yeah, because the one guy, I was sitting in there and I'm just listening and I didn't say a word. You know, I didn't give up out our secrets.
I mean, you can't.
And he's like,
you can't bring him over. Turn him into a follower. Turn him. That's what I would look at. I would look at turn him into family. Turn him into family, bro. Bring him in. Reel in as many people. We don't want it to be what it is. We want it to grow. Okay. So at the end of the day, I do want people to hear. So you sit there and you hear 2 people you don't know talking bad about Kyren. You should have, since they're not in your league, right? They're not in your league?
No, they are.
Oh, they are. Okay. But you could lean over to another person that's not in your league and just go, the Fantasy Football Show says otherwise. And just reel somebody in, bro. We got to grow, okay? We got to grow. All right, next topic. Go ahead. What do you think about Amari Cooper and Aiyuk? What's up, Silver? Silver in the building.
Me, personally, look, I'm a blue-collared. I came from a hard-working family. I'm like, look, you get paid to play a kid's game, millions of dollars. And
yeah, but you can't. I get what you're going to say, Bruce, but that doesn't matter. You know, at the end of the day, these guys are all fighting for the top dollar. They're not going to play for free. They're not going to play for a discount. They're not happy they're playing for $1 million, period. Like, he's going to go battle it out. So regardless, do you think Amari Cooper and Aiyuk push this thing deep into camp, or is this just posturing until they fold and come back in?
I think they're going to get traded. At least one of them. I think one folds, one doesn't. I think Cooper's going to be the one that folds and not Aiyuk,
Cooper can't.
Aiyuk's
I don't
younger
think Cooper can get traded. I mean, he's 30 years old. I don't know. You never know. But I don't think he's getting traded. Aiyuk feels 50-50 to get traded. 50% likely to get traded, 50% likely to either play on his 5th year or get a new deal, but to be in San Francisco. So it's like 50% Washington Commander, 50% Niner. And of that 50% Niner, it's 25-25 that he's getting a new deal or playing on the 5th year option. But we'll have to see and play it by ear.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's going to be Aiyuk that's traded before Cooper. But if Cooper is traded, and I might be the only one, but if he's traded, give me a couple of stocks of Jerry Jeudy, because that goes up then.
Maybe Jerry Judy's. I don't know. Rockout says check DMs. Rockout's probably left us a nice little.
Double running back on the tap, cooling like a mac and cheese. Can't you see? This is like you can't believe we scoring loads in your lineup. Score rain, I'm rolling, I'm flowing. Big time, the running back, feed the beast. We be taking over, running back a double up.
Thank you, Rockout. Appreciate you. Rockout to the moon. Rockout's like trying out for, music labels every show. Like, we don't know what day Rockout's getting raptured from this channel. And he's going to be way too busy to even visit us anymore, because he's going to be on tour before we know it. Yeah. All right. Hey, Bruce, you got something else? Call back in. Appreciate you. I'm going to keep the phone lines moving.
Yep.
Later. Thank you, Rockout, for the $2 hauler. Phone lines are open. Dial in. My guess is that one of these guys is going to fold very, very quickly. like a chair. It does feel like it probably would be Amari Cooper. He's the older dog. The likelihood of him getting hurt if he sits out an extended period of time at all is massive. These guys can't afford to sit out. You know, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand what Aiyuk is thinking here. You come in and you hold in. You know what I mean? You hold in, you show up, you hold in. I feel like maybe these are early jumping the gun reports, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know that I can. This is not me. This is me reporting on what's out there. I just think that it's hard to imagine this benefiting them to hold out. They don't have, we talk about them having some leverage, but they don't have enough to really play this game as long as I think the teams are willing to play it. You know what I mean? It's like playing chicken and you've got the much smaller vehicle. Like there's a certain point, the bigger vehicle is just a little bit more intimidating when you get closer together when you're about to collide. I don't know that Aiyuk is going to really push this thing. This might be floated that he's not going to show up to camp to see if it ignites any sort of convo, but I don't know. I don't know. He officially announced or officially requested a trade. I told you guys that was coming. We've called this thing to a T the entire way on Brandon Aiyuk. Amari Cooper's a tougher one to figure because you got the Cleveland Browns involved. One of the most ridiculous franchises, I think, currently in the NFL. The New York Giants and the Cleveland Browns are laughing stocks in how they manage their contracts and their players. And I'm sorry if you're a Browns fan or a Giants fan. I partly think most of you, if you are a Giants or a Brown fan, you agree with me. And you know I'm not taking a shot at a fan base or a specific person that enjoys Browns or Giants football. But these are two Mickey Mouse organizations right now. Regardless of what they could be later or what they've been in the past, you're talking about a team that is given a monster contract, the worst contract in the history of the NFL, in conjunction with the worst trade ever made in the history of the NFL in Deshaun Watson. And then now, who knows? I don't know what they're going to do with Amari Cooper. This might be so shocking what the Browns do. It could blow my expectations out of the water. And Aiyuk, the Niners are not that way. The Niners are very careful. They're overly careful. They're not the kind of team that throws money around or makes horrible decisions usually in terms of contracts. The Trey Lance situation, I don't even think that trade was awful given what he could have been. I think Kyle Shanahan ruined Trey Lance. So that's all on Kyle. I'm not going to judge Trey Lance. Trey Lance didn't even get an opportunity. In fact, when he did as a rookie, he won a playoff contingent game, sending the Niners into the playoffs. And then what does Shanahan do? Benches him and puts in Jimmy Garbage Garoppolo, who I said was not a top 32 quarterback walking into last year and took a lot of heat for it. Everybody quickly realized, including Davante Adams, that Jimmy Garoppolo is trash. He was a hospital ball making man. He was a hospital ball machine, just slinging up hospital balls for his wide receivers to get leveled. Here's a hospital ball. Have a good one. Here's another. You want two more hospital balls? Like he's shooting them off in a potato gun up in the air as high as he can. Hope this comes down soon and Davante Adams catches it before he gets leveled. Davante Adams, go watch the wide receiver on Netflix. Go see how Davante Adams feels about his organization. I'm surprised Davante Adams is giving Pierce a shot when it's as easy as can be to see that the Raiders don't have a better quarterback situation and Adams is very much walking into a much similar situation. It's not going to be as bad as Jimmy Garoppolo, of course, but this is still not a very good passing football team. I just don't know. Adams is going to just waste away his final year unless he gets out of Dodge, and they might trade him, especially if they lose. And we had the Tom Brady report, where there's talk about, he being Adams wants Tom Brady to come back out of retirement, just a fun conversation he was having, nothing too serious, but just talking about it, or he wants to be traded to the New York Jets. So Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers are the only quarterbacks he'd be happy playing with, and I don't blame him. And as much as people want to say Tom Brady can't come back, stop talking about it. Tom's the one not shooting down his return. Tom's the one that puts the Raiders in his own conversation, he injects it into the conversation himself. He says, when someone says, "Would you imagine coming back to a team like, I don't know, Raiders?" He suggests it. It's the first thing that comes out of his mouth. The guy wants to maybe come back. Yeah, Jimmy is a professional crook. He robbed the Niners continuously. He robbed the Las Vegas Raiders. He showed up to this first day as a Raider injured, and they didn't know it, just like he did as a Niner. He showed up injured to the Combine that year. They tried to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, and then they had to keep him for another year because he was injured, and he tricked them. And Shanahan and Kyle hated him for that. He didn't return phone calls. They said they could never get a hold of him. Jimmy was dodging them. And then what's Jimmy do? He goes to Las Vegas, gets injured, doesn't show up until he's injured, and then they say, "Wait a minute, you can't sign a contract. You're hurt." And so they reworked his deal and said, if you don't pass your physical by this date, we don't owe you a thing, and we're going to cut ties with you. They should have cut ties with him then. But Jimmy Garoppolo, because he's a crook of a contract stealing monster, he finds a way to pass his physical. You knew he would. And he takes all that money from LV. And Adams says, "I will not play football for this team if you don't take Jimmy Garoppolo out of the lineup." That's intense. That's crazy. That's exactly what I said it was gonna be. Phone lines open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Brought to you by theaddict.shop. Dial in. And while we await some phone calls, we can look at the best ball data. We talked about this, the Kyren Williams discrepancies, and it's insane. And the wide receivers being shoveled inside round 2 and 3 because of desperation moves by a lot of bad decision makers drafting teams this year has opened the door to some crazy discrepancies, like Neighbors going 27 overall right here and having to scroll all the way down to near the end of this screenshot to find Malik Neighbors in non-best ball at 54, where he belongs. This is good value. This is when we come in and say, you know what? I'm drafting the hell out of Neighbors at 54, but I'm not drafting him as my barely my third drafted player, oftentimes 24, 23, or 25, my second drafted player. This is insane discrepancy. And it's all because people are shoving wide receivers into round 2 because they're scared to death, because Steve and John and Margaret and Karen and Bob from accounting are being told to grab receiver no matter what. It's how you win a best ball league according to last year's data. Ron Navy, you're live.
Hey, Smitty. Well,
What
from the draft, I'm just sitting here eating my steak and sauteed mushrooms. I figured I'd call in and you can see it on Instagram if you want.
You're the kind of guy that you don't even mess around with like sides. It's just steak, maybe some mushrooms or something, but it's like that's all any sort of vegetable, mashed potatoes. That's all just gonna get in the way of you consuming more and more steak. I just I just see you eating nothing but.
I do vegetables. No, I do vegetables. I like lima beans, asparagus, stuff like that. Beef.
What do you think about Amari Cooper? What happens to Amari Cooper? I don't know what happens with Amari Cooper. The reason I don't know is because the Browns are involved. It's like they can do anything. They can sign him to a 4-year extension. Like, this is the Browns we're talking about. Logic says that he's playing with fire. Because 30 years old, likelihood of getting hurt if he extends this thing out is high. And then if he wants money next year, he's not going to get it because he's going to be injured. And then people are going to go, he's done. He's done. This is a real bad move for him. I don't know what he's expecting at 30 years old. So, but Aiyuk's a young guy. I get it. I do understand people's takes like Bruce where they're saying, hey, you sign a contract, you should honor the contract. But that's not the way the NFL has been handling fifth-year options and playing in a contract year, it's very much accepted widely by team and player. It's sometimes very advantageous for the team too. During a contract year, if you overperform, it's in the best interest of the team to lock you down now before you do even better, hit the open market, and the player who's greedy and wants the money now is willing to sacrifice the idea of them being worth even more next year because they could get hurt. So they take it. It's like a win-win for both sides. So I get where people want to go with that, but it's just not the nature of the NFL. The NFL very much supports players doing this. Teams very much support players doing this for the most part, and teams benefit greatly. But occasionally you have these situations where the team isn't quite sure that the receivers earned it yet. They don't have the cap space for it. They've got other plans in mind. They want to bring him in. They just value you a little bit lesser, and then you get this weird, crazy divide. But like we said from the beginning, all you need for a trade is a rift between the player and the team, which we have present in this situation. So we have one component of two already present. So there's a rift, there's a problem, and there's a potential reason to break up and separate, right? And then the second component is an offer. The team that holds the player, that's considering trading the player, the troubled player, an offer that team can't refuse. It makes too much sense to get rid of a problem and bring in this capital or this player. And I think at the end of the day, when you've got Ricky Pearsall, a first round draft selection wide receiver, you've already made a tremendous statement with that. You're saying that this guy's your future star. You don't draft a wide receiver in round one without the expectation that they could be your number one. Like, you think they could be your number one. So are they scared to throw Ricky Pearsall into the lineup right away? I don't think they are. And Aiyuk could really step on his own junk on this one by thinking that he, can take this thing the distance if the Niners are not receiving said offer that they can't refuse. Like, that's what it comes down to. Do I support Aiyuk's quest in this? Yeah, but if he is going blind into a territory of no good offers are coming the Niners' way, like someone just wants a second rounder and that's it. The Niners want a first rounder. Even if they're going to settle on a second rounder and a player later like Dotson or McLaurin or whatever the case may be, or a defensive player, which is what they need more, they're not going to do that now. There's no point in them taking the best offer that they've received right now. They can afford to let the suspense build. Maybe an injury happens. There's no need for them to take a second round pick. A second round pick is nice. A second round pick does not win a championship necessarily. At least it won't right now unless you land that pick and develop that pick. They're more worried about, Shanahan's more worried about being on the hot seat to a degree. Even though Niner fans will go, what do you mean? He just made a Super Bowl. He's on the hot seat every year. There's a time frame during the year where all the fans are irate at him. They're like, Shanahan's got to go. He just can't close the game. He's the best. He can't close. He's the best. He can't close. He's always on the hot seat, but Jed loves him. So I don't know that there will be a departure, but he's very much trying to win now. He's not worried about a second or third round pick or a second and a third round pick when he needs to win now. He wants to win now. Aiyuk's better for that. So give Shanahan an offer that allows him to think differently, and I think a trade happens.
Well, I heard on the Steelers stuff that there's talk about the Steelers using Highsmith in a trade offer for Aiyuk.
The Steelers are interesting. Any team could get in the mix if they hear all the potential teams that are looking to potentially trade for Aiyuk or would be potentially capable. You look at a team like the Steelers and you say, could they throw in a defensive piece to make this offer look like, hey, this helps me win a championship now? So let's do it. If the Washington Commanders are only saying second round, we'll give you 2 second rounders. We'll give you a second and a third. That is that's future capital. It doesn't help the Niners win right now, but maybe the Steelers can put together an offer like that. The question I'd have for you and you know even more than I would, will the Steelers be willing to give Aiyuk $30 million a year at $70 million guaranteed? Because if the answer is no, then nothing can happen no matter what. Because the receiving party is going to have to give Aiyuk a contract to his liking, or a trade will not go down. Aiyuk does have control in this case, because no team's going to press the execute button and make the trade happen if they don't have the contract in their hands, essentially, at the time of the trade execution. It's a parallel thing that happens at the same time. So the question is, will the Steelers pay him $30 million a year, $70 million guaranteed?
They got the money.
Or $75 million. I mean, it might even be $78 to $80 million guaranteed. AJ Brown got 84. And while we might say something like AJ Brown and Aiyuk are not on the same level, that might be true. But at the same time, since then, that guaranteed money has jumped up. I know we're talking about JJ, but it still jumped up. It jumped up to JJ's $110 million guaranteed. So is AJ Brown still comparable for Aiyuk? Are we still looking at that? Or are we now saying, well, AJ Brown's deal is old news? So it's tough to know. I think maybe you're looking at $80 million guaranteed at the end of the day, as far as what Aiyuk is willing to accept. Because Aiyuk might say, no, Pittsburgh, you want me, pay me. And the receiving team will overpay traditionally more than the hometown discount, requesting team. Like, the Niners are not going to pay him more than what, if a trade was to get done, the Steelers or the Commanders would pay him. That is how teams make sure the trade goes through, is they say, God, we're this far, guys, let's just give them the money. Otherwise this trade doesn't happen, and then they overpay. So a player very much wants to get traded if their team isn't paying them, because they know these receiving teams are desperate.
Yeah, but you remember, Aiyuk was that tweeted out with Tomlin, and if they talk, Tomlin could be saying, they could make a deal, and Aiyuk might actually agree on a lower end of money just to get out of San Fran. I mean, it won't be much.
Yeah,
I don't think it's.
I think
guaranteed. It could go down to 55 guaranteed.
I think he could accept a similar offer, lower no, but like a similar offer that he like to save face, right? You say no to the Niners, and then you get almost the same offer, maybe just a smidge more from a team like the Steelers, and you say yes to, like you said, get out of there, fresh start. But to save face a little bit, it's got to be something different. Maybe some incentives, maybe $4.5 million in incentives if I hit 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. Give me something that the Niners aren't giving me to save face, and then I want to get out. I want to go to a team that is willing to pay me, that respects me, that didn't draft my replacement in Ricky Pearsall.
Right.
Because that's such a crucial point. Deebo Samuel and Aiyuk took a gut punch on draft day. And the news, regardless of what the Niner pages everywhere are reporting, all that's, in my opinion, not true, what I'm about to say. That the Niners weren't really trying to trade Deebo or Aiyuk. That's BS. That is BS. They were frantically trying to trade Aiyuk or Deebo because their intention was to trade just Aiyuk. But the moment that A.J. Brown deal with the Eagles, $84 million guaranteed, was dropped on the entire league 12 minutes before the draft started, it changed the whole landscape for Aiyuk trade. And then all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, how are we going to get Aiyuk to agree to a deal now in a trade? Now we're going to need so much more time. We can't do this on the clock. Deebo, get Deebo fired up. We got to maybe explore Deebo trades now. They draft Ricky Pearsall in round 1 as the Bills keep scooting back as they're potentially trying to negotiate a trade to send Deebo or Aiyuk to Buffalo. I think preferably Deebo because he's under contract. His deal is reasonable. And then you can revisit extending him next year. Like, it was crazy how correlated the Buffalo Bills moving down was to the Niners drafting Ricky Pearsall. And everybody wants to pretend there's nothing to do with, no relation. Oh, this is not. I've been told this the entire time. The entire Aiyuk situation, all I hear is from Niner fans saying, oh, Smitty doesn't understand. I've called this thing to a T. So get out of here with your, oh, I have this information. Smitty doesn't know. Smitty doesn't know this. Smitty doesn't know that. Debo did it. That's the dumbest thing I hear somebody say. Is, well, Debo did the same thing, and he signed his contract.
Hey, didn't I make a bold prediction that Aiyuk would end up on the Steelers? I think I did.
I don't know. Let's look.
You would
Starts more games than Caleb. That's a funny one. That's awesome. Ron, Troy Franklin, 8 TDs. Is that you? Top 5 rookie wide receiver? Says Ron.
Franklin?
Aiyuk to Pittsburgh. Yeah.
What?
Aiyuk to Pittsburgh on 413. Wow. That's definitely one you'll be rooting for. Ron Navy. Dial into the show. What?
I thought I made that prediction.
Adam Hay says $5 hauler. Adam, you still here? Sorry about the wait. 1-2 team PPR keeper leaguer. What are we saying here? 1, 2, or 12? Oh, 12 team. Okay, 12 team keeper leaguer. One last year had picked 12. Keepers, Kyren and Laporta. Last 2 rounds, Kenneth Walker in the 6. Who are you targeting at the end of round 1? Okay, so 12 team keeper. John, why are you always complaining? Why is John always complaining? Smitty, you weren't close to the mic. He's always complaining about something. Everything he says to me is a complaint. It's always a complaint. Okay, so 12 team PPR keeper. One last year, pick 12. Keepers are Kyren and Laporta. Last 2 rounds, Kenneth Walker in the 6th round. Who do you target at the end of round 1? Well, I mean, look, this Adam, I'd have to know who's available. Can you call in on this one? Because honestly, I mean, I can't just say go wide receiver. I can't say go running back. And if I say 4 or 5 names, you know, I'm not going to get them right. I won't know who's kept and who's available. So the best thing is for you to call in and tell me 4 or 5 names that are available, and I'll tell you what I think you should do. Now, the fact that you've got 2 running backs, it does make me want to lean wide receiver, but I don't know that I'm going to... I don't know. You said there's no sound. Check. Okay.
I'm fine.
John wins again. John, you get a couple rare W's. There you go, John. I must have hit the mic volume. I'm sorry. John wins. Smitty 10, John 1. Nice job, John. Okay, Adam, call into the show, and let's try and attack this. The phone line is on screen right here. Here we go. Phone line on phone number on screen. Let me get this out of the way. There we go. Because I need more information. Are you able to call in, Adam? Hopefully you can call in, my guy. Aldi with a super chat. Who do you like more? 0.5 PPR. DK, Nico, Davante Smith. DK. DK. And then I think Nico and Davante are pretty close. I think their ADP should be neck and neck, but Nico's going around 2, so he becomes an avoid for me. DK Metcalf, I think, has arguable 2-3 turn value, to be honest. He's like my emergency guy that I draft when push comes to shove and I'm in Snipeville and I have to grab a wide receiver 1 like at the top of round 3. Is this Adam?
Oh, yeah.
Adam, where are you calling from, Adam?
Plymouth, Mass.
Adam from Mass. Okay, Adam, thank you for calling in. Thank you for the super chat. So give me like a group of players that will be available kind of where you're picking, and I'll tell you what I would do. Because again, I'm not going to set on a position, but it is going to be advantageous to go wide receiver probably because you got Kyren, you got Laporta, you got Walker, you got no wide receivers left, or no wide receivers yet. So list off the best available guys that will be like at least 6-7 guys around that pick.
I would say probably Marvin Harrison Jr., Davante Adams, Chris Olave. Who else? Running backs, probably Barkley, I'm thinking at the end. Hook is kept. He isn't going to fall. I don't think Gibbs is going to fall.
I would love MHJ. I would love MHJ. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, thinking MHJ. But then who do I follow that up with? Another wideout or just best available?
Always best available, bro. I know it's awkward. And best available means like if you have 2 running backs and you can only start 2 running backs, let's say, then best available gets molded and sculpted by your team needs and players available. Like it's an evolving. Best player available is evolving to you. It's not, hey, who's the highest rank on this list? It's not that way. So it's not like a force a wide receiver even with your first pick, but it is going to be kind of advantageous if the wide receiver is the best player available, or if all things are really close to equal, then you can lean toward wide receiver because in all intents and purposes, it is a best player available potentially to you at that pick. But you've got an amazing start with Kyren, Laporta, and Walker. I don't know if make sure you draft Corum. You've got to draft Corum, bro. Don't let Corum float around that pick that you have where it's like going to be close. Take him the round before that. Don't be shy about taking a QB in this round because this is the 4th round. This is not the 4th round probably because some of these keepers wouldn't go in the top 3 rounds, like Walker, for example. Yeah. But I'd say this is at least like 3.1 or 3.2 equivalent. Would you say that's about accurate? Aside from,
I would say.
I mean, you said Barkley, MHJ. Those are some good picks, but in a keeper dynasty setting, kind of feel like Barkley would be near that 3.1, 4.1, like in dynasty. I mean, that makes sense that he would fall a little bit. So yeah, it does feel a little bit like maybe 2.8 to 3.1 kind of player available with the 3 keepers. So quarterback would be fine by me, bro, but I definitely would shoot for a wide receiver. But like AR5, JD5, Mahomes, Hurts, obviously Josh Allen, probably one of those guys was kept, I imagine, if not 2 of them. But damn, bro, you get AR5 with, let's say, a DK Metcalf, that's fantastic.
I know. DK, when do I reach for him? What should I reach in the second?
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to taking him with your first pick available if he's the best wide receiver there and the running backs aren't, blowing you out of the water.
Pick 13 is really in play the first, I would say 3 rounds. The keepers aren't great is what I'm seeing. So I'm just wondering, just because it just fades off at wideout a little bit, I feel like some of the wideouts I don't love.
Yeah, I'm almost tempted to have you like move up to get MHJ a little bit, but if you think what are the odds he falls?
I think he's gonna fall. I don't think anyone's got the nuts to pick him, in that league.
Bro, then I stay
in the first round. Yeah.
Then I stay put and grab MHJ. Can you keep him the next year based on that draft?
I can only keep outside I can't keep first or second rounders. That's how it goes in this league.
That kind of sucks, but it's also kind of good though, because that
is.
kind of makes people not want to take him because they're trying to let him fall and hopefully they could get him in the right. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'd take MHJ. As much as it sucks to not be able to keep him the next year, MHJ is a lock. DK's not. There's nothing wrong with DK there, but Adams is okay. I'm not a huge believer in Adams, but
me neither. I know Adams is okay, but
he's okay. He's 31 years old. I just can't. Cooper Kupp is interesting in that second round, bro. That would be like if you go. Let's say you went Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, one of those QBs, and you got Cooper Kupp as your first wide receiver. I'm fine with that. You go DK and Kupp back to back with your first and second round picks in this keeper league. I'm fine with that too. Cooper Kupp and DK smashing at wide receiver.
Oh yeah. True.
All right, bro. Hey, appreciate your super. Call back if you got another one. I got you in the system now going forward, so dial in, bro.
All right, will do. Thank you.
Let's see here. One more super chat from Sick Nasty. 1 QB tight end premium dynasty value for Kelsey. Oh man, Ron, what kind of dynasty value? I know you don't do a lot of dynasty, so I actually want to ask you because you're going to have a little bit of a untainted brain for this kind of question, or it might be very bad advice that you give because you're not going to be dialed into dynasty, but it's going to be one or the other. If I'll give you my my take here. Hold on, I got to do something real quickly. Actually, give me your take real quick while I figure something out.
Okay. One quarterback premium dynasty value Kelsey.
Yeah, dynasty value for Kelsey.
Tight end premium dynasty for Kelsey. Yes.
You got to give up like a first rounder to turn him into Kincaid. You got to give up a first rounder to turn him into Laporta. You got to give up a first rounder to turn him into McBride. Like, I don't think you can in a premium. I don't think you can just like that would be kind of a crazy move to make, and in many ways hard to make. But I think
if you can get somebody like one of those like a Bowers or Sanat.
Not going to get him straight up though.
No, but I mean, you get the youth and you get really high end possibilities with those two.
Let me look at a couple. If you're trying to replace him at tight end, Kelsey and picks for Pitts, but I don't know that you're going to be able to do it with the second rounders. And we're not saying I necessarily like the idea of giving up a future first rounder and Kelsey for Pitts, because you can still win now with Kelsey in a premium and have that first rounder, and who knows what you end up getting with that first round pick. I think you could maybe trade him for, like I said, I'm going after McBride, I'm going after Kincaid, I'm going after Laporta, I'm going after Kyle Pitts, and if I have to give up capital, I would. Outside of tight end,
a lot of people don't realize Ingram finished second tight end last year overall. You could probably get Ingram pretty cheap because nobody really knows their value. But it wasn't just last year; it's been the last couple of years he's finished in the top tight end area.
I think Bowers is an interesting suggestion because there's no quarterback there, and people are just scared of that situation. And I don't blame them for being scared. It's a scary situation, no doubt about it. Like, I get the fear, but you tap into that fear. The thing is, most people that own Bowers, they're pretty happy with them. Like, there's not a lot of people that are running from Brock Bowers, but it's certainly something that you can explore. Kyle Pitts feels like a lot of people are still gonna, have concerns and doubt him, but I don't know, like Ferguson and something. That could be a place to take it. Fergie's pretty good. What else could you do? Wide receiver wise, I mean, you could go after. Damn, part of me wonders. Go to the Keon Coleman owner and see what tight end they have. Maybe they've got a Ferguson. Maybe you can somehow do that. I don't know. There's got to be something you can do, bro. But that's a good question. I think it just get on the phone line and we can discuss it more, Sick Nasty, if you want to work that one out. Like, maybe we could look at some of the teams. But Kelsey's hard to trade. I think Sandu's also kind of correct here in some ways. Fergie should be money, says Silver. Sandu says just hold Kelsey. Nobody's going to trade for him. That might end up being the answer at the end of the day. But he wants us to try, so we're going to try. But he is a hard player to trade. It's very difficult to trade him. Do you guys remember live on the show? Who was it that was hounding me in a follower draft? Was it? What?
And you raked him over the coals.
I
raked
raked
him
him
over the coals with it too.
Raked him live on the show. Was it Spacula? Was his name Spacula? Was that it?
I think so.
So Spacula was hounding me for a year and a half for Kelsey. He'd offer me the same trades, and it'd be garbage trade offers. Garbage. And I called him out. He'd super chat it too. He'd say, Smitty, check your inbox. I sent you an offer in the follower league. I've created like 3 Dynasty leagues over the course of 5 years on this channel, and he's in one of those leagues with the followers. And so I check him, and I'm like, no, bro, I appreciate your super chat, but this is a garbage offer. So on the live stream, this was heading into last year, right? I think it was heading into last year. I traded him Kelsey. He wanted to do 1 first rounder. I told him, no, I'd rather let the wheels fall off. And I made him trade me 3 first rounders for Travis Kelsey. And he traded me 3 first rounders for Travis Kelsey. So, and then he goes into this season and has a very mediocre year. And so I feel like a crush on that. But you're not going to find very many opportunities like that. But case in point, I did it live on the show with Spacula, and he wanted Kelsey that bad, and I don't know why, but he did. Spacula, you out there? Call in, pal. Poor guy.
I haven't heard from him in a long time.
Probably because of that trade.
Maybe. Yeah, probably because of that trade. He's probably got, like in Billy Madison, he's probably got that list behind on the couch putting lipstick on.
Yeah.
Hit list.
Yeah, he's got Smitty on the list. Spacula, before you go anywhere on that list or whatever, I just want to say I'm sorry. And I want to say I didn't mean to take 3 first rounders off your hands. I'll call in if you're still live. Got to finish dinner. Okay, Sick Nasty, we'll definitely take care of you on this. We'll come up with something. I mean, London comes to mind as a receiver that you're gonna have to give up. You're gonna have to do some sort of Kelsey and a wide receiver for London, or go after a Tank Dell. Tank Dell might be a thought. Tank Dell's pretty easy to trade for right now. I mean, his redraft value is round 3 to 4. It just kind of depends. I'd definitely go after Tank Dell. That'd be a good move. All right, Ron, I'm probably gonna head out and then I'll be back tonight. Anything else?
Okay. Hey, check out your Instagram.
The steak?
Check it out before you leave.
Did you DM me? Let's see here. Okay.
Yeah. Of course I did.
Man, that's just not fair.
Got to make you hungry.
That's just not fair. That's wrong.
What's not fair?
I mean, you even got butter on it. Like you
Yes.
Making me damn hungry. That's right. I got a Lou Mal Natties in the fridge still. So you can only sting me so bad. That definitely looks good. That butter, like what's going on there, man? You had to just throw it. You had to throw it. Like that just makes it look all that much more better. It's just got a little butter just sitting there. Mushroom. But hey, I was right. Your plate is empty. I called that to a T. You're the kind of guy that literally you got so much steak on the plate, you don't have room for anything else. You got a little side item, a little tiny side item, but there's ain't no 7-course meal. This is a 1-course meal every time. It's always steak.
No, I had chicken last night. And the night before I had pork chops. Grilled pork chops. So it's not every night.
All right, Ron Navy. Appreciate you later.
All right, we'll see you later. Later, chat.
Man, that steak looks tender. Looks like it melt right in your mouth. Last couple of steaks I've cooked have been tough as hell. Pizza last night looked better. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. I got that in the fridge. I'm ready to chow down on that. Where is the spinach? Says Superfish. There is no spinach. There's a spinach shortage because this man attacked all of the spinach trucks. We think. It's speculation. It's kind of reckless speculation. We don't know. We don't have any true evidence. But all the spinach went missing across the country. And then this man showed up 10, 15 pounds heavier. And we're pretty sure that the spinach shortage has something to do with Achane. We're not quite sure, though. Thank you, Superfish. Thank you all for the super chats. We had some monsters in here tonight. Deckard dropping gifted memberships left and right. Deckard, appreciate you. Let me just pull up Deckard and make sure. Gifted memberships from Deckard. We had gifted 5 times 4 tonight. Deckard with the 3 burger and Ray G gifted 5 memberships once. Let me just make sure there weren't any other gifted memberships that I missed. Okay. Celebratory messages. Nothing tonight. Appreciate you all. Super chats. Deckard with the $10 hauler. Arrogance with a 10. Ray G with a 10. John with a 10. Travis with a 10. Or, 2. Rock Out. Adam. And Aldi and Sick Nasty all dropping wattage on screen. Appreciate you guys for the super chats. I will see you all probably tonight. Achane and Zamir are the spinach bros. That's true. I think maybe Zamir White's involved. That's true. I mean, maybe Zamir White's more involved than Achane. Because, we throw this photo up and I don't know that anybody can give another explanation as to why this man grew so much in the off season. Where's this photo from Zamir White when you need it? Zamir looks like an absolute monster. He's just massive. He's massive, I tell you. If you haven't seen this photo, it's worth waiting for. I'm trying to find it. Give me a second. Where are you, pal? Where are you? Where are you, Zamir? Here, no, that's Achane. I saw this dude on screen. I'm like, holy, who is that? It's Achane again. Achane's taking up the whole screen. This guy grew at least 10 or 15 pounds. Where's my Zamir White photo when I need it? Zamir, where are you? Zamir looked like he ate the entire running back room. I don't know if I have it. I can find it. Let me go search for it real quick. Zamir White just looks like a Zamir White photo. I love how you just type that in and it comes right up. It's like the first thing in Google. Zamir White photo. There it is. Somebody labeled it Zamir White photo. Look at him. Look at Zeus. Looks like he ate the entire running back room. I mean, I know when you bend your arm like that, it shows a little bit more size. Like you could see this arm, but that arm's still huge. This guy's a monster. Look at that phone. That's an iPad. That's not even a phone. That's an iPad. That's an iPad Pro in his hand. Unreal. Wicked says, Roy's Wicked, you just don't own him. That's why. I don't blame you for being upset about it. Warren is strong. Yeah, Warren's looking good too. Warren's looking like maybe some spinach fell off the truck. Quite possibly. Ron Navy says asparagus and lima beans. I love those, says Ron Navy. Ron Navy with another $20 hauler. Ron Navy says he wants to extend the show. We could bring back eventually the $20 haulers, extend the show another, 2 to 3 minutes or something. So everybody thank Ron for extending the show. $20 hauler, Ron dropping it.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Ron Navy, appreciate you. Appreciate you, Ron Navy. Asparagus is good.
Detected at the front door.
Asparagus is good. Lima beans, I'm going to have to say.
You've just just been Smitty disapproved.
Asparagus?
You've just been Smitty approved.
Lima beans. Can we get a roll call on lima beans? I just can't imagine even 80. I can't even imagine 15% of the population in this world liking lima beans. Can I get a thumb up or thumb down or a yes or a no or a W or an L for lima beans? Let's count it up. I want to see if there's anybody in the chat at all, even one person maybe, that'll eat lima beans besides Ron. Because that just sounds, I don't know, even the sound of lima beans. Superfish said they're good for you, love them. Okay, we're off to a good start. Superfish with the thumb up. Knights with the throw up emoji. No, says Rock Out. L says Cap. VRC says green beans from Lima. That doesn't answer it. A 2. So that's a no. L. Thumb up for DC. L for Knights. Don't hate me though, says Blackbeard. Blackbeard says, what do you say? Haven't had lima beans since I was a kid. The W says Q. Okay. Yuck, says Matt. Ron says $50 holler.
$50. Give me $50 holler. Like that by the brother Smitty. Give me $50. Oh, yeah.
Ron Navy, what do you say in his message? Not enough money out of the case, says Ron. Damn, Ron. This office is clean, too. It was. It's getting there. Definitely that never helps, but it's always a good, type of damn it. Ron, you also get a bold prediction with that, by the way. $50 holler gets a bold prediction. So, Ron, think of your bold prediction and drop it up on the screen. I imagine Ron's going to cook up something related to the Steelers. Who's remembering eating hash as a kid? Not really. Bruce says W on the lima beans. No, says Hector. Not enough. Good, but not good, but not terrible, says Archie. Yeah, lima beans are not a fan favorite, but they're not as widely hated as I thought they'd be. Just give me asparagus, says Rock Out. I'll probably say my favorite is, I hate broccoli, but you cover it, smother it in cheese, so where you don't even know broccoli's underneath it. I'm eating the broccoli. You throw cheese on anything, and it especially melted, like, not nacho cheese necessarily, but like melted American cheese or anything on top of it, and boom, all of a sudden I'll eat the hell out of a bunch of broccoli. Denny and Rock Out need to make a song together. That's true, Ray G. Ray G, appreciate your $5 holler. Appreciate you, my guy. I live in Lima and still don't eat lima beans, says Tyler. That's a true hater of lima beans right there. That's like a guy named Brandon hating Brandon Aiyuk. It's kind of the equivalent of that. Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate you dropping that. Broccoli beef is amazing. I didn't know that broccoli had beef in it. Where's the broccoli beef? Are we baking beef into the broccoli, or are we cutting the meat off the broccoli and pretending it's beef? Are we making broccoli tacos with pretend hamburger beef that's really just broccoli? Is that what we're doing? I've seen that carrot hot dog thing on TikTok, all over the place. Ron Navy's dropping his bold prediction right now. Bold prediction is Estime 10 plus TDs, the rookie running back in Denver. Holy smokes. Estime. Ron Navy. That one's wild. Today's 6/19? 6/19. Ron estimate the RB 10 TDs. Woo! Woo! That's the kind of prediction that could win. 10 TDs for the rookie. I have been drafting a lot of estimate in the last round. Like I go 4 RBs. I usually always get a 5th RB. And oh, did I say 617? It's 717. I think I've done that all along. God, sometimes I forget we have very little time before the season. 717. Not that it matters too much, but obviously the earlier the prediction's better, you know, if you get it out there earlier. So I am kind of running the risk of making somebody, you know, pissed off later when we're like, you said that in June, and they're like, and everyone's like, he didn't, he said it in July. How do you predict that in June? But I have been taking estimate quite a bit in the final round 18, when I've gone 4 RBs. I need my 5th RB, and I say to myself, who's the kind of guy? CrowdStrike outage pushing hospitals to rethink software. God, that outage has been nuts. It's been absolutely nuts. All right, unless somebody extends the show with a $20 hauler, we're out of here until tonight. Appreciate you. Live whenever big news breaks. Additionally, I'm live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Ron Navy, appreciate you dropping all the wattage on screen, my man. Rock Out dropping another super chat. Says Ron will fly to Mars on SpaceX. I wouldn't doubt it if Ron volunteered to go to Mars. If I was a young man, you know, I'd do that. You know, if I was a young man before, like, obviously, you know, you got kids, you got, you know, a big, huge extended family, you've got a job, you got this, you got that. I get it. But, you know, if I was 19 years old, I'd volunteer for the Mars mission to go colonize on Mars. That's totally up my alley. I'd be the first content creator over there. But there's no way I'm convincing Miss Smitty, Little Smitty, Medium Smitty, you know, to go over to Mars. They're just not going to have it. Wouldn't it be amazing to be the only content creator over on Mars? I could do news. I could do fantasy football. I'd be live constantly. I'd be like the radio station on Mars. It'd be like, it'd just be, I love that. It'd just be me sitting in this like booth, right? In the center of like the arc on Mars. And there'd just be like a red light. And it'd be like, Smitty's live. I'm just constantly live. Like Sundays are football, news, you know, throughout the day. I'd be like the DJ almost in a way. I could even play music maybe a little bit, but I would love to be the only, you know, creator on Mars. I would love, that would be up my alley. It totally would be. I wouldn't have to go anywhere except for to Mars. I gotta rethink this. I could catch the COVID on the way over there. Nah, I think I like my studio. I'll stay. All right, see you all later tonight. Appreciate you. Deuces.
Excuse me, Jalen. Reporter Randy here from the Take a Lap Times. Do you know you're currently a 3rd to 4th rounder in fantasy drafts?
3rd to 4th rounder?
Liftoff of mission 3, 2, 1, 0.
The stack above all stacks. It's time to drop the pancake emojis in the live chat.
Kyler, MHJ, Benson with Connor. cuffed to him. McBride, unreal.
Once upon a time, Trey McBride saw two quarterbacks cross streams.
There are 2 5s?
They're gonna cross streams.
He worked effortlessly trying to accomplish this feat on his own. Then, one day, he crossed his 4th and 5th round average draft position. And then, this occurred. Get McBride. Brees Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the 3rd, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Brees. He's Brees.
He does a hell of a job. A hell of a job. A hell of a job.
Brees Hall, please report to the moon.
He does a hell of a job.
See you all later. Again, live when news breaks. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And also additionally live midnights drafting potentially tonight. Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Underdog will match your first deposit up to 50%. So you drop 100, they'll give you 50. You drop the minimum of 10, and they'll give you 5. So hit that link. That link is dropped in the live chat. It's pinned in the live chat. It's in the description of the video. It's code Smitty if you want to go that route. We'll see you while drafting most likely tonight. And then I'm going to try and do a Dynasty show as well if we can get that in the mix. Maybe a Pacheco Dynasty show. See you all later. Appreciate you.
Get Brees.